Eat when you're hungry. Food is good. Drink when you're thirsty. Oh yes. And have someone help clean the plate. Pepper, thank you so much. Hey guys, it's JBB. Welcome to Studio Sessions. Baldy, can you get out of the way? He's like sitting right under my feet. So today I wanted to briefly talk about mixing. For me personally, I've been, still tweaking my song, my dance song, Put It On Me, which I'm about to release soon on my new album. Okay. Wait for my speakers to kick in, my KRKs, Rocket 5. All right, guys, let's go. I have to set them. They take a while to kick in. So I had to really sit here and go through all my vocal tracks because I had so many freaking vocal tracks that they were all over the place. I had to remind myself I can't do that, because especially if you're mixing it yourself, it's one thing because I guess you can figure it out. But if you have someone else mix your stuff, that can get really confusing for that person and create so much more work for that person, which is really not fair, right? If they have to try to figure out. So really important. It may be already common sense, but I make that mistake myself sometimes too, because when I'm recording and I become way more the artist than the producer or the mixer or whatever, so I will just throw other things on the same track, like a high voice, right? And I started out low. So the frequencies are different and it may not be, the effects I'm going to put on in the beginning may not really work for the end where I'm going way higher and maybe way more intense. So really important to if you haven't done it while you're recording, which is sometimes you just want to be in the moment, not think about it if you don't have anyone else recording yourself. If you don't have anyone else recording you, if you're recording it yourself, make sure that you go through your tracks, and that goes either you're mixing it yourself or to give it to someone else. Go over all the tracks and make sure that, all the verses, all the oohs, the ahs are on the same track. For me, I like to, and that's why it looks sometimes so much. I want to show you guys. See how you guys can see, these are all vocals, right? And it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. And then it's more up here. So I have to make sure that they're all lined up, that they all, have their own track. For example, what is this? Your body, come on, let's dance. That is just little doubles, not the entire time. And then I have, see, this should actually be up here, so it's where they all lined up the most. And then down here, those are separate, right? I want to have them separate because I also put them a lot of times on group tracks. So if I want to have the same effect or have them, let's see, you see here it's not stereo out, it is actually groups, sugar high vocals, sugar high. Having certain tracks and groups will help me to put the same effects on and save me some CPU, right? Because I want to put maybe a reverb, maybe some compressor, a main compressor for all of them, and then I can still individually put different effects on the vocal, which I didn't even do on the sugar high, that vocal. Instead, I went and got I just used the group track where I put a neutron, compressor, what else did I put on there? The UAD Neve, 1073 Legacy, and then a stereo delay, just to make it so all the sugar high vocals, they're all on a group track. So instead of having each track have their own reverb or like their own stereo delay or their own compressor. It's just a background vocal, so I don't think it's that important to have each individual, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are actually 8. I do a lot of left and right. I know, some people don't do that, but I use a lot of layering, and then I'll spread it out. I have one hard left, hard right, and then I have the other ones a little bit more like, left and right, but not hard, and then more and more into the center. Since I have like low ones and high ones, so I want to make sure that they spread out nice. Those are the high ones, and I have the low ones somewhere.
I'm on a sugar
There we go.
high.
Yeah. So they're like not hard left and hard right. And then I have those.
I wanna dance all night.
Yeah. So it sounds nice. I think it sounds nice in the mix.
I'm on a sugar high.
Right? So really important, because by doing that, because I really didn't do that at first, and I was going through all my vocals, and I'm like, oh my God, where's this coming from? Where's that coming from? Because I put a lot of things on the different things on the same tracks, and so I had to like go in and move them to a separate track so that I can, manipulate them separately versus like having it on there. Like for example, the verse, I usually cut up the verses and the choruses. Did I do it here?
I love your touch.
Yeah.
I love your body.
So I like to always,
Can't deny what the heart desires. You got that magic.
that's like the verse. So, and actually here I wanted to separate that too. I don't know your name, but I love the rush. I ended up actually keeping it on the same track, because even though I'm singing it a little bit lower, but I still wanted the same vibe. But then when I go into the chorus, I gave the chorus vocal a separate track, because I want to have slightly different effects on it. Different compressor, and also different effects. So that is really important, being organized. And it doesn't even matter if you give it to somebody else or if you mix it yourself, because that makes your process so much easier. So what I recommend is, and this song was a great lesson for me, because I did it kind of in a rush, and I was just going, I have another idea, and I threw it in there, and it became a huge freaking mess. And instead of cleaning it up later, try to organize it, in the beginning, like just, use separate tracks for separate parts. And if you do sing the entire way through and you comp your vocal later on, just like right then and there, separate them to where you think, I want to have like a radio effect on that, or like a distortion on that, because that's going to make the end process so much easier. Which brings me to the final thing I wanted to mention today. A producer I used to work with, Eric Ron, I was so impressed by how he would record and do the entire process, because he would actually mix while he's going, you know what I mean? And so I try to do that as well, because when you're just recording and you're not really thinking about the mixing part yet, you're gonna have a shitty sounding track, and it's gonna be so hard to get everything kind of like lined up, and frequencies and stuff like that. So I feel like if you already, if I start with this sound, if I already kind of like know what I'm doing with the sound, or where I'm going with that, and I tweak it right from the start, then the end mixing is so much easier, because I don't have to, work with completely rough sounds. I ended up changing the drums, and I also ended up changing the bass line. I couldn't figure out why the chorus wasn't moving. So this is the new chorus. I just put an arpeggiator there, because in the beginning I had this. And to me it wasn't moving. Right? Versus the arpeggio. And that's just my personal taste.
dance on me, take the lead, look at your body.
So to me that made so much more sense. So I think I'm almost done with this song. It's definitely vocal heavy.
Come on and dance. Dance on me.
Like my little ad-libs. I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going to put them yet.
I love your body. Come on and dance. Dance on me. Take the lead. Look at your body. Put it on me. Rock you.
And there's still like a little...
I love your body. Come on and dance. Dance on me. Take the lead. Look at your body. Put it on me. Rock you. I'm on a sugar high.
Yeah, so that's my little tip for today. So when you're mixing, try to mix right from the beginning when you start recording, because it's gonna make it so much easier at the end to just like adjust levels and, you know, tweak frequencies versus starting from scratch. And make sure when you're recording your vocals or anything in general to like name them, especially when you're recording. When I first started out, I would like just record and I would have like audio 1, audio 2, and man, that's gonna get so freaking messy. The more songs you're gonna record, it's gonna get so freaking messy. Low battery, my battery's always low. What I actually like to do is when I'm recording a song, I'll be like, put it on me vocals, put it on me, you know, kick, because this way it's not just like the name of the track, you know, Omnisphere, super bass, or saw bass. It's like, put it on me bass 1, or put it on me Omnisphere bass, whatever you want to label it. But I like to put the song name in front of the file. This way I will know in my computer if something ever goes missing, I know what to look for, instead of audio 1 or like bass 1, you know, or Omnisphere bass or saw bass. It could be saw bass from any song. So that's my little studio session. Let me know your experience when you're in the studio, when you're recording. What is your process as far as like labeling tracks, as far as mixing? Do you mix along while you're recording, while you're working on the song, or you save all that for the end? How do you organize? I color code everything, as you've seen, like because it just keeps things really simple. Drums usually blue. I do all the keyboards, all the harmony stuff, melody stuff, yellow, and then I do my special effects or swishes and impacts and sweepers. Swishes, what the hell is that? Sweepers, I do all of that green. Guitars, I do red, and then the vocal, I do pink. And I may use different shades of pink for backup vocals, for like doubles and stuff like that. But I try to keep it as simple as possible. And then also what I do is I put my vocals in a folder. When I just want to work on all the music stuff, I don't have to look at all the vocal tracks. See, if I open the folder, there's way more tracks here. But if I just close the folder, it looks a little bit more clean. So I recommend you doing that. And actually, this is not that many tracks. It's 41 tracks. No, it's hold on. So my vocals are in a folder. I just close the folder. So overall, I only have, all right, it's 82 tracks. But it's a lot of vocals. So yeah, happy mixing, happy recording. I hope you're enjoying this, and let me know how your process is, what kind of process what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you have problems with, and maybe I can help you out. It's all about, you know, learning. It's always a learning process. It never stops. Seriously, it never stops. It's always something new. It's really hot in LA, so I hope you guys are staying cool wherever you are. And I guess I will see you on Monday for Music Monday.
Dance on me, take the lead, look at your body, put it on me, you got me, I'm on a sugar high.
Let me know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you have issues with, and what your process is. I would love to hear that. All right, I'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.